To Serve with Love, written by E.R. Braithwaite. Eustace Edward Ricardo Braithwaite, known as E.R. Eustace, was a Guyanese-born British-American novelist, writer, teacher, and diplomat, best known for the stories of social conditions and racial discrimination against black people. The novel To Serve with Love tells us a lot about the racial discrimination against black people. However, the current extract just tells us about the half yearly report presented by the students who were initially spoiled brats. We have major as well as minor characters in the story. The major characters are Ricky Braithwaite, the narrator, Gillian Blancard, Mrs. Dale Evans, Denham, Pamela Dare, Mr. Florian, who is the head of the school. We have a plenty of minor characters which comprise of the names of the students. However, all the names are not depicted in the story, and this will be coming into the novel, that is To Serve with Love. To Serve with Love is a work of fiction based on the life of the author E.R. Braithwaite, an engineer by profession. He served in the Royal British Air Force during the World War II. Being a black person, he was unable to find a suitable employment, hence had to take up the job of a teacher in London's East End School. In the school, he finds that the students belong to a background that is not very good for learning or for their overall development and progress. And on top of that, the students are in no mood to change their attitude and behavior. Braithwaite, using his novel and creative ideas, innovative techniques, and understanding the students' psychology, ultimately wins their hearts in no time. Though Braithwaite was bullied, harassed, mentally and physically tortured many times, he didn't lose patience and brought a significant change in the lives of students. Another facet of the story is Braithwaite's hatred and wrath for British due to mental and physical trauma associated with the history of colonialism during the World War II. Theme of the novel, it is the student teacher relationship which is the dominating theme, and we also have prejudice and racism, that is the other themes of the novel. Racism prevalent in Great Britain during the mid 1940s is of primary significance in the novel, although nothing is mentioned in our current extract about the same. The narrator cites repeated incidents in which he experiences the racism of white Britons, including encounters on the bus, at job interviews, at Green Slate School, etc. Synopsis of the extract. Braithwaite recounts the half-yearly report of the Students' Council, in which the students of the school report to the faculty and other students on what they have been studying throughout the academic session. Class representatives speak knowledgeably about their coursework and place a considerable amount of emphasis on how much they have learned about different people, cultures, customs, and the importance of international and interracial cooperation. Braithwaite students, the senior-most class, speak about each subject in the class. Teachers have been chosen to answer the students' questions arising from the senior representations. To serve with love, the half yearly report of the Students' Council was one of the important days in the calendar of Green Slate School. Everyone was excited. It was entirely their day, arranged, presented, and controlled by them. Miss Joseph and Denham, the important officials for the occasion, ensured that each one was ready to play his or her part. Everyone occupied their place in the auditorium. Miss Joseph and Denham, the two most senior students, sat on the stage beside Florian, the headmaster of the school. Florian gave a lengthy speech about the aims, policy of the school, and of the important contribution each child could make in realizing those aims. Florian praised wherever it was indicated, but also mentioned that there was a great deal to be done by themselves, that means the students, towards the general improvement in conduct, cleanliness, and the pursuit of knowledge. So he actually was quite diplomatic. Then Miss Joseph gave a short explanation of the council's purpose and its activities. Each class would report through its representatives for each subject on the studies during the half year. After the presentation of reports, a panel of teachers selected by students would resolve the queries related to the reports. Students of low classes were shy to speak up before the entire school, but they managed it creditably. In each class, a marked development was observed in their ability to express themselves. Denham called out the names of the representatives of Braithwaite's class together with the subjects on which they would report. Potter would be speaking on arithmetic, Sapiano nature study, Miss Pegg and Jackson geography, Miss Dare and Furman physiology, Miss Dodd history, Denham PT and games, Miss Joseph domestic science. Miss Joseph then said that their lessons were about the brotherhood of mankind and that they had been learning through each subject how all mankind was interdependent in spite of geographical location and differences in color, races, and creeds. Potter spoke about the relationship between the kilogram and the pounds. However, everyone was actually relating it in general to the humanity or mankind. So he related it to be the symbol of greater understanding and accomplished between people. Sapiano spoke about the study made on the pest and showed how many countries had pooled their knowledge and results of research on the behavior, breeding habits, and migration of these pests and were gradually reducing the threat. So basically, everyone was speaking about their subject, but they were in one way or the other relating it to mankind in general. Miss Peck and Jackson divided the report on geography between them. Jackson spoke on the distribution of mineral deposits and vegetable produced over the earth's surface, how a country rich in one was deficient in the other, thus showing interchange and interdependence. Miss Pegg dealt with human relationships, stressing the problems facing the post war world for feeding, clothing, and housing its populations. She also made a reference to the thousands of refugees, stateless and unwanted, and to the efforts and programs of UNICEF. Fernan, with the help of Welsh and Allison, arranged a skeleton hanging from a hook screwed into the top of the skull. Now, his act actually made everyone laugh. However, Fernan stated that it was actually a female skeleton and it could be proved easily. However, he also stated that it cannot be said with assurance whether she had been Chinese or French or German or Greek, nor could he say if she had been brown or white or a mixture of both, thus concluding that basically all people were the same. The trimmings might be different, but the foundations were all laid out according to the same blueprint. Miss Dare spoke about the problems which all humanity has to face in terms of sickness and disease and of the advantages gained by the interchange of knowledge, advice, and assistance. Miss Dodd reported on the period of history, the Reformation in England, and she told about the struggles of men of independent spirit against clerical dominations and of their efforts to break from established religious traditions. From those early beginnings gradually grew the idea of tolerance for the beliefs and cultures of others and the now common interest in trying to study and understand those cultures. Denham, however, shocked everyone by criticizing PT and games to be routine and monotonous. Instead, a good game was far better, he stated. Apparently, he was actually voicing the opinion of all the boys, for they cheered him loudly the moment he started criticizing the PT games. When the reports were over, Denham called two children at random from the audience and asked them to write the name of each teacher, including the head, on a slip of paper. These slips were folded and placed in a hat, juggled vigorously, and then withdrawn one by one. The teachers, Mr. Weston, Mrs. Dale Evans, Miss Phillips Denham, Miss Joseph, Miss Euphemia Phillips, and others took their seats on the stage. As soon as questions were asked, to everyone's surprise, the teachers were often caught out stammering in their indecision. Maybe they were not prepared, and maybe they found that the questions are too tricky for them to resolve. Miss Euphemia Phillips dealt with questions put to her with authority and would often intervene skillfully to assist one of the others without causing any embarrassment to her fellow teachers. Mr. Weston, the PT teacher, he found himself completely nonplussed in the face of Denham's blunt criticism about PT and games to be having no physical advantage. Denham is trained boxer, so he insisted that PT exercises advantages only if practiced daily. Miss Euphemia Phillips reminded the school that every subject, including PT and games, had been carefully considered and fitted into the teaching timetable so that each student received maximum benefits from it. So she was actually more skilled to answer the queries as compared to the other fellow teachers. Miss Euphemia Phillips replied that it is as much an exercise of the mind as it is of the body, and on top of that, doing what you are told in spite of not liking is a part of the training. So, this reply of Euphemia ma'am indicated that how she could effectively cope with her class. She further added that the school, with its limited facilities, cannot please everyone. Denham suggested that the PT exercises should be only for the kids and the rest could have a game of football. So he was actually voicing the opinion of the other boys. Finally, the head closed the proceedings, expressing his pride in all the children and his deep appreciation of their efforts. So, with this, the half yearly report came to an end.